There was some great news for Eli Lilly stock investors as the company elaborated on sales of Mounjaro, Zepbound, and its performance in the most recent quarter, which provided great insights and a positive outlook for the future for Eli Lilly. Let me share with you these details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So the company reported Mounjaro sales of 3.8 billion, which is more than double the same quarter last year. Outside of the United States, Mounjaro has launched in over 40 countries, and Q1 was another quarter of steady sequential growth. They launched in India and Mexico and plan to continue with additional countries throughout 2025. This is just the beginning of its expansion worldwide here in this very successful development. So, their focus so far has been on seeking reimbursement for type 2 diabetes, but they're developing the ecosystem to treat obesity as a chronic disease. So for now, they're focusing on type 2 diabetes, which is a huge problem worldwide. And then they'll focus on treating obesity as a chronic disease. And they're getting more and more traction in this regard, given how much poor health outcomes result from being overweight. So I think this is critical for the company. And I hope healthcare institutions and governments start to treat obesity more seriously. So Zepbound is the US branded anti-obesity market leader in both total prescription and new prescription, reaching 60% and 74% respectively at the end of Q1. They also launched a higher dose of Zepbound vials, adding 2 additional doses for patients to access Zepbound through the self-pay channel. So that's opening up another market for Eli Lilly to sell, another channel for Eli Lilly to sell its products through. It diversifies its sales channels, reaches more customers, and I think that was great news for Eli Lilly stock investors as well. The company went on to say that their performance in the first quarter was strong and they were encouraged by the underlying trends they saw across their portfolio of medicines. As a result, they reaffirmed their revenue and performance margin guidance. And that's great to hear because a lot of healthcare companies have come under pressure here in 2025. Many of them are trading near their 52-week lows, and the increase in tariffs added another layer of complexity for companies like Eli Lilly. So it was encouraging for the company to reaffirm their revenue and performance margin guidance for 2025. The company estimates that the announced tariffs currently in effect will have a limited impact financially, which they have absorbed in their 2025 guidance. So it's not going to change anything for their 2025 guidance in terms of revenue or profitability. And that was a relief for many investors who were concerned about how the business would be impacted as a result of the tariffs. They went on to talk about some interesting topics like their hypothesis for this new drug in development, which is a pill, is that Orforglipron could deliver efficacy, safety, and tolerability similar to what they've been seeing for their GLP-1 monotherapy injectable drugs. So instead of injectable, it's going to be oral in pill form, which is going to expand the market opportunity, make it more convenient, lower the difficulty of administering. And the company believes that its results from initial trials support that hypothesis, which is great to hear, right? They told investors, look, this is what we think we'll be able to achieve. And they tested that to see if that's actually, viable. And they came back to investors now after initial results and said, we think we were right in our initial hypothesis. We think we will be able to deliver something that is as, the same efficacy, safety, and tolerability, or very similar to GLP-1. But this time, instead of having it as an injection, you get it in pill form, which I don't know anybody, maybe you would know somebody that would rather have an injectable rather than a pill. It's just so much easier to swallow a pill with some water than it is to inject yourself or have someone inject you with these medicines. So big improvement in convenience And if you're getting the same level of performance with a big improvement in convenience, it's a no-brainer for many consumers. It gets even better because the company said that given that the study was only 40 weeks in duration, participants had not yet reached the weight plateau at the conclusion of the study. So that result is encouraging as they look ahead to their first phase 3 readout in people with obesity that they expect in the third quarter. So 2 quarters from now, they'll get more information. Maybe they'll even say that this could work even better than the injectable. That's a possibility. It could be. But as long as they're similar, because one thing I didn't mention earlier is the manufacturing and transportation of this medicine in pill form is so much more convenient and more cost effective than transportation and manufacturing for this product in injectable form and storage as well, right? So that's something that's also a big benefit to the company. And so that's something that I'm keeping a close eye on. The company noted that the most common adverse events were gastrointestinal, which is consistent with the GLP-1 class. So that was good to hear also. So assuming success in the phase 3 programs, they plan to submit Orforglipron for obesity in the fourth quarter later this year, followed by type 2 diabetes in the first half of 2026. So if they were to get approval for these, that could be a big lift, a big catalyst for Eli Lilly stock investors. And the stock price will likely react before the company even starts manufacturing and starts selling these products. As soon as they get the approvals, um, the stock price will react in response to those approvals. The stock market is a forward-looking mechanism. It already anticipates what's going to happen in the future and prices that in to today's stock prices. It takes the probability of the success, multiplies it by the potential revenue if achieved, and then it prices it into the stock price today as investors start buying up shares of the stock in anticipation of the coming success for the company. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.